Yes, I forgot to hit the record button. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start recording now. And you guys, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Blair and you can just talk a little bit about that. Let me allow the screen share for you guys so that y'all can, hang on one second. Stop share. Multiple participants. Okay, so you should be able to share your screen if you wanted to show that pamphlet that you were mentioned.
We'll start. Yeah. Start with that one. Okay. Can y'all see the screen?
It's the one it's the same top, but it's the page 2.
Oh, okay. We're gonna start with page 2.
I like page 2
Work
better.
our way back.
I think it makes more sense to start here. So
Okay.
a lot of people, whenever they buy the house, say, of course, you're buying the house, you're buying this beautiful land, this beautiful home for you or your family to move into. But what they don't also realize is that they're buying the title and the rights to that home. So whenever you buy a home, you get homeowners insurance to protect against fire or any other hazardous incidents that could happen in the future, right? Same thing you do with auto insurance. You're getting that insurance to protect against future hazards. Well, with the home, what about any unforeseen hazards that could have taken place in prior years with prior owners? There are several unforeseen hazards that most consumers aren't aware of whenever they're buying a home, which is why title insurance is so important. Because we're going to go in and do that in-depth search of the property. We're going to do a full examination, an abstract gets pulled, and we're going to go in and make sure that any prior debt, lien, encumbrance, as well as any defects to the title through the transfers of ownership get cleared prior to the closing. That way the buyer can rest easy knowing that they're not going to have an heir that was left out of a transaction come knocking on the door saying, I have a right to this property, or an ex-spouse that was left out of a transaction that was due an equitable lien payout, for example. Because if that were to happen, they've purchased a title policy from us and we're going to go to bat for them and we're going to help fight that fight if something were to come out of the woodwork after the fact. So with the title insurance, as there are 2 different kinds. So go back to page 1.
Back to page 1, okay.
There are 2 different kinds, and this is a common question we get. What are the differences? Well, when there's financing involved, we're going to issue a title policy to the lender. We're going to ensure to that lender that they're going to have the first right to foreclose in the event the note was to be defaulted on, and that there are no prior debts on the property that can take superiority over their lien. So we want to make sure that lien gets created validly so we don't have any issues with the lender after the fact. And then we're also going to be issuing an owner's title policy, which is going to be more important to your client because it's the policy they're going to receive after the closing has taken place, ensuring their rights to the property, as well as against any prior title defects, encumbrances, or liens before they took ownership. Another bit of that got added into the contract a few years ago is this whole shortages in area thing. I get this question all the time. I could go into the legals of it all. We could talk about Schedule B of the title commitment. I could show you exactly what happens when that gets purchased, but really that's going to go in one ear and out the other. The bottom line of that, it's the survey deletion one.
No, I know, but it's not on the bottom.
Oh.
We lost it.
It was on the website. It's in your downloads.
Okay, sorry guys. Technical.
Now go to your internet downloads. Go to your Google. And then go to your
Right here.
You're down. Should be, oh, no, it's not on there. Sorry, hold on. I want to pull up the survey deletion.
So this is our website, publictitle.com. And if you ever do need, any sort of resources, you can go over here to residential resources, and we have agent resources, buyer, seller, school ratings, tax information, as well as stats as well. So I just wanted to plug that real quick since we're here.
It's still just showing the PDF on mine.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. Well, never
Okay,
mind.
good. Hold on. We're going to get this PDF pulled up.
It almost
Okay.
looks like it's frozen.
Hold on. There we go. New share. Where is it? This guy? Okay. So we'll go there. Where that? Um, now is it different?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect. Okay. So there's a lot of legal verbiage that we could get into when it comes to this survey coverage and the shortages in area thing. Ultimately, whenever the buyer is getting this additional coverage for their title policy, they're getting additional insurance to protect against surveyor errors, whether it's an existing survey or a brand new survey that was created for the transaction. If that surveyor left anything off or did not properly draw out that fence line, and that were to create an issue for the buyer and a neighbor in the future and create a loss for that buyer, then their title policy would give them that added coverage. So an example of this would be, let's say we get a brand new survey done. The surveyor shows that the fence is sitting right on or within our property lines. That's great. Surveyors are humans too. They sometimes make these mistakes. And then come to find out, 6 months, a year, 10 years after purchase, the neighbor is saying your fence is encroaching on my property line and I need you to tear it down and move it over. Here's my survey proving that your survey is wrong. That buyer then calls us here at the title company. We take care of that cost and we go deal with the surveyor on their behalf. So essentially that shortage is in areas just to make sure that added protection, that whether they're using an existing survey or obtaining a new survey, if there are errors in that survey, they will be covered for that. Again,
So it's just an additional coverage, and then the contract usually says at the expense of the buyer or the seller. So that additional coverage, you can stipulate who's paying for that additional coverage.
exactly. So a loan title policy is always a buyer's expense because they're the one creating the need. The owner's title policy, of course, is negotiable in the contract, as is this additional survey coverage, also known as shortages in area. That's also negotiable. Who's going to pay for that?
Okay. Is title insurance required?
So title insurance is only going to be required if you're obtaining a loan and the lender requires a title policy. However, an owner's title policy is never required. It is not mandatory in the state of Texas. But when you're buying a title policy for the lender and you're obtaining an owner's policy at the same time, you get it at a discounted rate. So you're essentially, depending on the sales price and the difference between that and the loan amount, typically it's going to be a few $100s to obtain that additional policy to protect yourself as this new homeowner. And it's valid for the life that they own the property as well as their heirs. And it's a one-time expense. So in my mind, what's a few $100? I can sleep better at night in case something ever comes out of the woodwork.
And what's the coverage limits on that?
So the coverage limits are going to be based on the purchase price. So your policy limit is going to be the purchase price of the home. So let's say you have someone come out of the woodwork, it goes to court, and for some reason they win in court and the home does get taken away from that buyer, they get paid out their full policy limit back. So they essentially get reimbursed their investment.
The total amount that they bought the house for. Okay, minus any liens, of course.
Right.
Okay, now
They would then
you
have to pay out.
you had mentioned that y'all check for encumbrances and that kind of stuff as a part of the title insurance. Does that come with the title services period, or only if you're buying title insurance?
Only, so we have two different types of services we can do. If you guys ever need just a quick glimpse in a property, we can run a quick owner and encumbrance search, which is a very fast glimpse into the property just to check ownership, taxes, and current existing debts or liens that might be active. Now, if title insurance is actually being purchased, meaning there's an executed contract, we're opening escrow, that's when we do the comprehensive search. And we're looking for not only those surface debts and liens, mortgages, we're going to be looking a little bit deeper. We're also going to be searching the names of the parties involved to see if there are any federal tax liens, for example, that are attached to their name, therefore attached to the property.
And child support.
And child support liens. That's the next one. I've seen some messy ones with that.
Mhm.
Child support liens as well. We're looking at everything all the way down the list. We're making sure that there aren't any contractors out there that were left unpaid as well. Because we need to get all these debts, liens, essentially clouds on the title resolved before the new homeowner takes ownership.
Now, are all title companies like that, or y'all kind of different in that respect?
So it's essentially going to be the same process. whether it's one title company or the next, we're regulated by the Texas Department of Insurance. So the premiums for the title insurance, as well as any additional endorsements like the shortages in area, are regulated. That cost is going to be the same across the board.
Mm.
The difference that I feel like Republic Title has compared to other title companies is we have this corporate backing, we have this corporate support that allows us to be more hands-on with our clients, answer those questions, help them dive a little bit deeper into their problems and see if we can come up with a good resolution.
Mm.
We've got our HOA department, our commitment department, our policy department, our post-closing department, and that's what allows us here in the branches to better serve. So while the pricing and the process may be the same from one title company to the next, because it is regulated and very standard, it's going to be the service we provide that sets us above the rest.
Yeah. Okay. No, I've definitely noticed the difference. I've dealt with other title companies and had some headaches. As a matter of fact, I think there was one where we had another title company. They were not able to get it done. And I called you and I was like, hey, I'm trying to sell my aunt's house and there's a bunch of air affidavits that we have to deal with. And you're like,
I'll never
yes.
forget that.
Yeah. You were like, yes, we can get it done. And I moved it over there and it was done within a matter of a week or two. So yeah, no, I completely agree on that side of it. All right, great. I'll go ahead and hand it over to Kyle now. You had some neat tools that you guys are starting to offer agents, right?
Well, we do. So we have, first, I'm gonna go back to the website that I was on. Well, I'm already, hold on, because I do like want to talk about the resources and stuff like that we offer, because we have an entire wall in our office that has all of these items in paper form, but a lot of agents want them in PDF form so they can share them on social or whatever the case is. So let me do a new share for, okay, well, I'm not sure if it's showing up or not, but
It is.
okay, it is. Okay. So here is our website. If you go under resources here and go to residential, we have our area resources, which will be like wineries, breweries, dog parks, bike trails, lakes, all that kind of stuff. So if you have clients coming in from out of state, this is a great area for them to just be able to get familiar with Texas. Agent resources will be particular to the realtors, buyer resources, seller resources, schools. These are the stats for the area, and we do Collin, Denton, Rockwall, Dallas, all the counties, and then tax information as well. So one of our newest tools, or actually our newest tool, is what's called the Title Toolbox. And as we all know, the market is getting a little more competitive, so we need to figure out ways to be more competitive as well. So I'm going to go over this very briefly because it is a lot of information to take in, and honestly, it's better to meet one-on-one for this because every agent is at a different place in their business or wants to farm a different area or wants to farm a different type of client, stuff like that. So I'm going to go over it briefly, but please reach out to me directly. Brian, if you don't mind sharing my information with the team, that'd be awesome. We can meet via Zoom, we can meet in person, whatever you like, but where this tool really thrives is one-on-one because it's the best use of your time. So for starters, this is a all-in-one net sheet calculator. So we do have our app, which is awesome, but this actually pulls in the taxes as well, whereas our app, you have to manually put them in. So we're just going to use this address as an example. Everything you do in the Title Toolbox will be done with this little gear icon right here, as well as this little notepad. So this notepad is basically a built-in CRM. So say that you talk to the owners of this home and they were like, please send me a CMA next Tuesday or whatever. You can come in here and say, send CMA to Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and then come in here and put the date for that follow-up. And then you'll get an email reminder, hey, don't forget to follow up with Mr. and Mrs. Smith or whatever. So you don't have to have a separate Excel file or a separate CRM unless you already have one. It's kind of nice to have it all in one place. But I want to show you the net sheet for this. It gives you a Google Earth and a satellite image. I'm not sure why it's showing the back, but you know, that's technology for you. But you have the seller option, net to sell, refinance, and also the buyer. So as you can see, every item is able to be edited, but it already has the taxes, which is probably my favorite part about it. So you can edit pretty much anything, the brokerage fees, all that kind of stuff. And then when you go down here to generate PDF, it'll take a sec because it's making it super pretty. Then like you can save it as a PDF or you can print it, however you want to do it. So as you can see, you have to zoom in a little bit. But it's a really nice, easy to read net sheet. And once you have your own
Hang on a
account,
sec. It's still showing the form. It's not showing the PDF.
okay, thank you. As you can see, it's been a while since I've zoomed, so thanks for bearing with me. Wait, can you see it now?
Yes.
So very easy to read. And when you have your own account, instead of it being Republic Title, you can change it to your own logo, stuff like that. It's just Republic Title on mine because this is my account. So the website, by the way, is republictitletools.com. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but that is the website. And so that's the net sheet calculator, which is, again, super easy to use. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Let's see. Can you see the screen again, Brian?
Still on the PDF.
Yes. Okay, one sec. Now it's back to the net sheet calculator.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to get out of that, if it'll let me get out of that here. I'm just gonna go back to the. I wish my face wasn't in the way. Wait, hold on. I can line this. All right. So in addition to that, it's an all-in-one farming tool. So I'm just going to take an example here in Prosper, which is where we're at. So three different types. You can do a radius, which basically you just drop a pin and you can make it larger, you can make it smaller, you can, do whatever you like with it. It's not my favorite because it's not precise. So I prefer the boundary search where I can draw my own boundaries. So
that's what most of the agents are taught to use whenever they're doing CMAs and stuff.
okay, well, for some reason that boundary wasn't valid. So of course, that's just the way it works when I'm showing it to somebody. So let's try over here. And just for the sake of examples, it's not going to be perfect, but I at least want to. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Just do a rectangle
what?
or something.
Let's just do a radius search because I just want to show you like how precise you can get with it. So you hit next, and then let's just go ahead and get the count for that circle that I drew. So within there is 288 properties, right? So let's get rid of condos, even though there's not any in there, but here you can get as specific as you'd like. So bedroom, bath count, the year it was built, lot size, building size, etc. But I do like the custom filters because you can do out-of-state mailing address. So it's probably an investor. You can do non-owner, which is going to be, renters as well. Next seller is pretty cool because it takes the average for that circle that I dropped and will give me the average of how long someone owns the home. So let's say it's 7 years. So it'll show me only the people that have owned since 2015 and 14 and 16 because it does plus or minus 1 year. So odds are those are going to be the next people to sell. Empty nesters, we don't have a whole lot of those up here in Prosper because it's so new, but depending on where you're farming at, it'll take 30 plus years ownership and 3+ bedrooms because odds are they probably had kids at some point and now they're in a home where they don't need all that space. So you can market to those. You can even do even and odd house numbers. Why you would want to do that, I don't know, but it's kind of cool that you have that option. So say for those 288 properties, I wanted to get their phone numbers and emails. So it's 12 cents for both to get their phones and emails. Before you actually pay for them, it'll give you the cost. So it'll be $34.56 for all of these phone and emails. Now, if they're on the do not contact list, it will not give you their phone or email. So you don't have to worry of like, I have their phone number. Should I call them? I don't know if they're on the DNC or not. Don't worry because they won't give it to you if they're not. So you pay the $34.56, but say only 150 of them have their phone and emails active, you'll get refunded the difference between the $34.56 and however much 150 costs. So you only pay for the information that you get, which is, pretty cool from in my mind. So after you do that, you can come up here and, oh, well, my form went away. Hold on one sec. Where'd it go? here, I'm just gonna have to redo it. Sorry. Oh, get count. And then, so say I want to do all 288 properties. I go to download view records, and then it'll pull up every single address. It automatically gives me their names and stuff like that. So if you don't want to pay for the phones and emails and you just want to farm to the actual homeowner and just their address, you can do that at no cost because it gives you all of their information. So once it's done downloading, which of course it goes slower when I'm showing people than when I'm doing it by myself, you can actually save the farm. You can actually share the farm. So Brian, if you did a farm and you wanted to share with one of your agents, you could just, send it to so-and-so and it'll automatically upload into their farm list and stuff like that. So it may or may not work, of course, because I guess it's shy. Just bear with me.
Well, Zoom is kind of notorious for slow production like this. It's difficult at times.
Right. Well, if it doesn't work, just know that it'll pop up and it'll have a list of every single address, the year that it was built, the year that it was sold, the price that it was sold at last, the names of the homeowners and all that kind of stuff. And you can, again, do notes for each individual address if you do talk to someone at that address. Once you download the phones and emails, it'll automatically save as well. So say that you want to go back to this farm a month from now and do the same thing to see if any of the parameters have changed. It'll only give you the new information and not the ones that you got a month prior. So you're only getting the new stuff and not having to filter through what you already had and stuff like that. So again, it's not going to work for me, of course, but that's basically a brief overview of what I wanted to go over. There's a lot more that it can do, but again, it's one of those things that I prefer to do one-on-one because we can really get into it and look at the areas that you want to do. You can even do something where, say that I want to farm Allen, but I'm not sure where in Allen I want to farm. I can filter it by mail carrier route. It'll show me, say there's 20 mail carrier routes in Allen, it'll rank them 1 through 20 based on turnover rate for the homes on that route. So say route number 5 has a 11% turnover rate, it'll give me all those addresses just for those homes. And then maybe I want to farm those because the turnover rate is higher and stuff like that. So I don't want to bombard you with information because I know this is a lot to take in, but please reach out to me one-on-one, shoot me an email or a text, or you can call me and let's, figure out a time to get together and really dive into this.
Great. So I have a couple questions. So I think I understand, but you're saying that each user would have to create their own account with republictitletools.com?
So if you've ever closed in a transaction with Republic Title, you're automatically in the system. You just have to reset your password and they'll send you a temporary one. But if you haven't, you just go to republictitletools.com, hit sign up, and then click me as your rep, and then I'll give you access through an email. So it's no cost to sign up or anything. Yeah. You only pay for the phones and emails if you want to do that. But otherwise, if you just want to farm certain areas or get data or just addresses, you can do that for no cost.
Yeah, I saw the whole Premier thing. So the Premier stuff usually has some type of fee attached to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But for 12 cents per record, like even if you get one listing or buyer off of that, it pays for itself many times over, But again, with the market getting so competitive and people trying to find ways to stand out above all the other agents, I think this really helps because instead of a wide net, you're able to really hone in on the clients and the areas that you want to, focus on.
A particular target market that you're trying to go after. Yeah, that's good. Do you have any agents that you know of that have used it and been successful with it?
Oh yeah, well, so we've only been able to, push it for the past couple of weeks, but I was able to show a few teams beforehand, and they've had really good success with it. They're doing mailers. They're doing. There's a way to do Facebook ads just on those addresses. So say that you're targeting renters in Wildwood, which is a community up here in Prosper. Like you could only do Facebook ads for those people, so it's like catered to them versus like Prosper in general, if that makes sense. So it's not an overnight, success. Like you do have to put the time in and understand that it might take a couple months to see results, but Yes, they've had good success so far.
Okay, great. No, that's good. The agents here, they all pretty much understand that they get out of it exactly what they put into it. So I know that this could be a tool that they could certainly use to their benefit if they want to put in the time. Okay, I'll go ahead and open it up. Does anybody have any questions for Blair or Kyle? Anyone? This is usually where I start to hear the crickets.
Ask Blair all the questions. She loves questions.
I love
Mhm.
questions. I
Mhm.
went to school to be a teacher and ended up in title insurance, so.
Well,
You still-
you
I every day.
you probably get paid more at a title company than you would at a public school. So it's
Within the last couple of years, absolutely. Been a little crazy. Now things
Yeah.
are balancing back out, thank goodness.
Okay. Well, I don't think anybody's jumping on to ask any questions, but I do want to thank you guys for taking the time to share this. I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel, and a number of agents. I know I think I said there'd be like 30 or so, and normally there is, but I think it's because I didn't send out a reminder. I should have, I guess, micromanaged all these adults or something. I don't know, but I'll post this out there, and I know a number of them will watch it later on. So I do again want to thank you guys for taking the time to share this with us. Okay.
Absolutely. And thank you for having us on. And please reach out to me. This is what I love to do. I love helping people grow their business and, take it to the next level. So do not be shy.
Okay.
You can call, text at any time. So
Yeah, I'll post y'all's contact info on the info that I push out so that they can reach out to y'all if they have any additional questions. Okay.
perfect.
All right. Thank you guys. Y'all have a good day.
All right. You as well.
Bye. Have a good one.
Bye bye.